Have you ever noticed how your goals shrink every time life gets difficult? How you quietly lower your expectations just to feel safe? That's the trap most people fall into, living life at one times thinking, but expecting 10 times results. And here's the psychological hook. You're not failing because you're weak. You're failing because your dreams and actions are moving in different directions. Most people belong to one of three groups: those who don't dare to think big, those who think big but act randomly, and those who wait for the perfect moment before moving an inch. If you see yourself in any of these, it's normal. This is the silent pattern almost everyone gets stuck in. Why does it happen? Because your brain is designed to protect your identity, not your potential. When you imagine a 10 times goal, your mind whispers, too big, too risky, too far. So you stay where it feels familiar, even if you're unhappy there. Think about yesterday. How many times did you doubt yourself? How many times did you say, maybe tomorrow? That hesitation is the invisible ceiling holding you down. But here's the shift. Thinking 10 times bigger isn't the hard part. Acting 1% daily is what rewires your identity, slowly, quietly, but permanently. And maybe you've noticed this too. Every time you try to level up, something inside pushes you back down. Not life, not other people, your old identity. It's like trying to run with an anchor tied to your ankle. You move, but painfully slow. Let's classify this clearly, so you see the pattern without confusion. Some people are stuck because they fear disappointment, some because they fear judgment, and others because they simply don't know what a 10 times life looks like. They've never seen it, never felt it, so their mind doesn't know how to imagine it. But the root cause? It's psychological. Your brain survives by repeating what feels familiar, even when familiar is destroying your potential. That's why you can scroll for an hour without thinking, but freeze for 5 minutes when trying to work on your future. Your mind protects comfort, not growth. Now slow down for a moment and look inward. Think about the last goal you abandoned. Not because it was impossible, but because it felt too big, or you felt not ready yet. That moment was your old identity pulling the brake. And if you replay your last month carefully, you'll see the same brake being pressed again and again. But here's the truth you've probably never heard. You don't need to fix your whole life to change your direction. You just need to shift 1% today. Because 1% is small enough that your brain won't fight it, but powerful enough that your trajectory will never be the same. And if you think about it, that 1% is the only part of your life you can fully control. Not the outcome, not the timing, not the world around you. Just the next tiny step. But here's the twist. When you repeat that step long enough, it doesn't stay tiny. It compounds. It becomes identity. It becomes destiny. Most people underestimate this. They believe change must be dramatic. New life, new routine, new motivation. But dramatic change collapses fast. Small change stays. Small change sticks, because your mind accepts it before it has the chance to resist. Have you ever noticed that the habits destroying your life also started small? 5 minutes of distraction. One skipped day. One tiny excuse. Then it grew until it became who you are. Your growth works the exact same way, but in the opposite direction. Pause here for a second. Picture the person you want to become. Not the fantasy version, but the 1% improved version. Wakes up 10 minutes earlier. Reads 2 pages. Does one uncomfortable task. Thinks a little bigger than yesterday. That person is already living inside you, quietly, waiting for permission to appear. This is where the shift begins. Thinking 10 times bigger gives you direction, but acting 1% daily gives you momentum. You need both. Vision without action is daydreaming. Action without vision is running in circles. But 10 times vision paired with 1% movement, that's how ordinary people rebuild their entire lives. But here's something most people don't realize. When you start moving 1% each day, the world won't clap for you. No one will notice. No one will cheer. And that silence, that quiet space, is exactly where most people give up. Because we're addicted to visible progress. We want proof. We want results fast. We want confirmation that the effort is worth it. And when nothing changes in the first week or even the first month, we assume something is wrong with us. But the truth is simpler. Growth is invisible before it becomes undeniable. Seeds grow underground. Muscles grow in rest. Confidence grows in silence. And identity? Identity grows long before anyone else sees it. Look back at your past attempts. How many times did you quit because you couldn't see progress, even though you were actually closer than you thought? How many times did you tell yourself this isn't working, when really the change was happening internally? Slow down a little here. Let yourself feel this. You don't need to see the finish line to keep walking. You only need to know the direction is right, and thinking 10 times bigger gives you that direction. It removes the boundaries life placed on you. It reminds you that your goals were never the problem. Your capacity to believe in them was. So here's the quiet part. No one tells you. The first proof of change isn't results. It's the moment you choose consistency over mood. When you act 1% even on days you don't feel like it. That's when your future starts shifting. And once you cross that line, the line where you no longer negotiate with yourself, everything begins to change. Not loudly, not dramatically, but steadily, like a river carving through stone. This is the moment we shift into solutions. Not the complicated kind, not the change your whole life in one day type. Just the simple, actionable moves that reshape your identity from within. Start with one question each morning. What is my 1% today? Not, how do I fix my whole life? Not, how do I catch up? Just one small action that aligns with your 10 times vision. Make it tiny. Make it almost laughably easy. Read 2 pages. Send one message you've been avoiding. Walk for 10 minutes. Write 1 paragraph. Anything. As long as it moves you forward. Because what you're training isn't the habit itself. You're training your identity to show up, even when motivation doesn't. And here's the psychological breakthrough. Once your brain sees you taking action consistently, it stops fighting you. It stops questioning you. It stops pulling you back to the old version of yourself. Instead, it starts building a new self-image. I'm the kind of person who moves. I'm the kind of person who grows. I'm the kind of person who keeps going. Reflect on this for a moment. Think of just one goal you've held for years but never touched. What would change if you moved 1% toward it today? Not next week. Not when life is perfect. Today. That's how your 10 times future begins. With the smallest movement in the right direction. And here's the part that ties everything together. Your life won't change because you want it to. It will change because you finally decide to think bigger than your fears and act smaller than your excuses. Thinking 10 times bigger redefines the destination. Acting 1% daily guarantees you'll get there. Most people reverse this. They dream in tiny circles but try to force giant results. It never works. Because small thinking kills momentum, while small actions create momentum. Look at yourself clearly, without judgment. You already know the version of you that stays stuck. The one that doubts, hesitates, overthinks, and lets days slip away like sand through your fingers. But there's another version of you too, quieter, stronger, more patient. The version that doesn't need permission to grow. That version is waiting for you to choose it. So let's end with a simple truth. The kind that stays in your mind long after this video ends. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You rise to the level of your daily actions. And if you increase those actions by just 1% each day, your future expands in ways you can't even imagine right now. So before today ends, do one thing, just one. A 1% move toward the life you secretly know you're capable of living. Maybe it's writing a plan. Maybe it's deleting a distraction. Maybe it's beginning the thing you've been avoiding for years. Think 10 times bigger. Act 1% daily, and watch how quietly, how steadily, how powerfully your entire story begins to change.